put the middle and the ring finger down, the pinky and the index fingers pointed up, and they'll put the thumb out, so you'll see the thumb sticking out. But if you take the thumb and take the middle and the ring finger and point it straight out into, like, you put them all the tips together, but keeping the two outside fingers up, look to the side, it's actually Anubis. You can call on that for guidance. You call on that for guidance. And Anubis is seen as the devil. So later when they put it down, it's also a different form. I'm sure the mudra changes because the thumb is actually holding the two in the top of your finger is holding the outside and those two knuckles together. You actually tapping into some demonic or dark side shit. But now, why do you think, and then they'll show you online all the politicians doing that shit, because they're calling on the energy. Also, if you look at this, know the symbol for Ka. The Egyptian symbol for Ka is you put both hands up in the air, and you look like a football tee. You know that shit they kick the football through? You're actually in that shape. That shape later on in church is how they throw their hands up to Jesus, because you're actually calling on the Ka. Your hands look like a form of Ka when you're doing that so-called devil sign, the devil ears. And they're actually pulling down energy when they're doing this shit. They're doing something that you won't do, and because you've been so in church, you think it's something bad or something secretive. They're doing your shit. Yeah. If you really want to get them back, you do your shit. We the ones with the melanin. So,
that's what I do, Panic. That's what I do, man. Whatever they say is wrong, demonic, Satan, all that shit. That's what I study. That's
the first thing you need to study.
And everything,
that's the first thing you need to study.
All the symbols that they label taboo or what have you. I study those. And that shit is
that's the first thing you study, because that's how they're revealing it. That was their message. Their message was to scare you scare the bejesus out of you, just on the Willie Lynch level. Scare the bejesus out of you, and then to do your shit in your face. And because you are still scared, now we're a little bit more sophisticated now, so we don't say the white man's the devil. That shit's kind of played out now. We just moved that energy to the Illuminati, to the government, to the powers that be, the chemtrails. So at this particular day and time, I hear a bunch of scared Negroes. You know, I've said this early before, but I'll say it again because it came up last night with me and Tef. You can hear something every day that they're doing. We up to number 72 of what the government is doing and done. So then I said, well, I'm going to show you some common sense shit then. If they're doing this and we're up to number 72, 28, how come the rest of the shit didn't work? If they have to do number 72, that means they have 71 failures.
They got
basically, if they're doing all this chemtrails and vaccinations and the rest of these things, if they're up to number 72, that's an admittance that 71 is not working. If any of that was working, they wouldn't have to create number 72. You win in this if we decide to look at it. We're focusing on their war plan, not ours. You get what I'm saying? And ours is through magical operation. We have more of our mind to create this reality. We need to understand our fail and fall. This is the end result of something in our thinking that happened a long time ago. You get what I'm saying? So all this little information is how you activate it back. Now, you ever see when the white boys do this, I'm not worthy, and they do that little bow? That's an ancient Egyptian hieroglyph. That's a symbol.
I heard that shit. I heard that. You talking about the white boy? I'm going to tell you what it is. When you do that in front of somebody, because it's still the same sign of the Ka, you're recognizing the God in them. So you're recognizing that they're using their spirit to do it. So most people will do that shit when Michael Jordan flies from the foul line. So you're recognizing in that posture that you're recognizing the God in them. You're recognizing he did some God shit. When you're holding your hands up, you pull your Ka. You could do meditations with your hands in those positions to pull down your own power.
Right.
So all those hand positions, all those postures are about your own power. So what this brother, Voice of the Drum, did gave you a combination that's more complex than just sitting in one position. How to activate it and with those words, bring down that energy. Kemetic Valley told me he did that shit while burning a candle. He did it for a while, and a snake showed up in the candle. He took a picture and showed me. I said, damn, there's a snake and a face up in that motherfucker. So we into shit that works here in the remix. So that brother Voice of the Drum, we need to thank him for sharing something that what he told you, and I can say I read a lot of these books are not in books. These are the type of things we are seeking.
Yes.
These are the type of things we're seeking. These are the things we should be thankful for when someone can bring this information. This is how we know our spirit is working. Our spirit is working.
Yeah, for him to bring that to the show last night. That shit was something else. It wasn't coincidence. That shit was meant. It was meant to happen. You know what I'm saying? Just you and him are the only ones that really was on that shit, right? And then he bring it to the show and he drops it. You know what I'm saying? So now most other people that's channeled, they own it too, just like me. You know, because I'm getting mine in too. But y'all killed it last night, Panic. Y'all killed it.
That's what's up. Now I do want to say, you know, I've met other people who are on it and they deal with it. But him in particular, he went very hard with a lot of these adepts and swamis to get his shit out of it. So he actually put a lot of time into it to actually get something out. So even though people are aware of it, a lot of people do not study it. You get what I'm saying? But they know it exists. They know who he is. So you're talking to someone who studied it, and it becomes clear when someone like him shows up is that the purpose is clear because it's only more proof that Sri Ramakrishna is talking. So when this brother Poetic coming through and we having a whole 2 weeks of the discussion of death, then the brother Grim Reaper from the Grave Diggers come up because it's basically like saying, you playing my song. You get what I'm saying? You playing my song. When we were dealing with Baron Samdi, and Bobby gets possessed when he deals with this shit. So since we was boys, you know, it's going to inspire me to start studying and channeling and to show you how it looks like a coincidence, but you know it's real, is while during this period, Flavor Flav came to me and was telling me all this Baron Samdi shit. So now you got to understand how it works. If you say, well, this is the dumb nigga that was, even though he was in Public Enemy, he was in Flavor of Love. Look at what they did to him and the government. But our spiritual shit is so keen and magnificent, they present him to you this way. I'll do you one better. As Flavor Flav from Public Enemy, from what we know him from consciousness, he was doing the same thing. He was goofing off. He looked like a coon. But he's the one that brung you into Chuck D to get the message. It's a science. It's the science of the fool. You get what I'm saying? It's the science of the fool. You get what I'm saying? ODB had the science of the fool. So now, so you see him as foolish, but at the same time his show was going on, at the height of this shit, you had Baron Samdi able to come through in the way he did. How do you say? He had the most popular show on VH1 that transformed VH1. That energy is usable. You get what I'm saying? Usable. And let me say this, because since this is in the air, Brother Azariah made one of these points. I want to shout out Brother Azariah. Last night, me and him got a chance to talk. Well, we always do when we get together. But he gave me some hot shit. He gave me some Palo coins and shit, you know, and he gave me a few CDs but another deep brother. He's also a brother who talked about the chords and the bubbles.
Yeah.
In a lecture, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him. But Azariah said he's been listening to me on Blog Talk. So I'm like, yeah, I wanted to get more information to bring it up. He's like, fuck that. Just do what you're doing. I'm fucking enjoying it. I'm like, all right, I ain't going to get no. He ain't going to tell me about it. But anyway, he said something that was actually profound. He said, you can look at your house. Your house has nothing but wires in electricity or energy all through it. The portal is the outlets. Energy will do anything, but you are the one who need to define the energy. So you plug something in called an iron or a TV or a microwave in an outlet. Now that energy has a definition. It's called watching TV, listening to the radio, your clock, your appliances, your toaster. So energy, where the energy is created, you still have the ability to define raw energy. It's raw material. So you take Christmas, for example. Christmas is still one of our divine days, December 25th. But it's an energetic day. It's the birth of Horus. Now, I've seen conscious person after conscious person after conscious person. I'm not putting up no tree. I'm not doing that. Fuck Santa Claus. All of these come from your divine origin. But what's more important is we know even if it didn't, and let's pretend for a moment it didn't come from you, the illusion of that, because everything comes from you. In fact, I'm about to put up one of Tef's videos called Hollow Days. When I tell you I watched this shit again last night, he did it maybe 204. And this is Tef Azar. We call him Tef, the one who made the Company of Moors, which you can get now. And let me just say, the people who've been reading it, it is a novel, but he drops so much fact in it, so much history in it. They say when they read it, because he does it in novel form, I heard many people say, I am there. They're getting channels from reading his book because he draws up a vivid picture of the time. So you got to get this book. It's a magical book. He has many books, actually, that does this. So now you can define, to get back on track, you can define this energy based upon your ritual. And I tried this shit out. Now, Of course, we know 9/11 is a ritual. So what happens? What are they doing? When they create a situation and they make this situation third dimensional, Bin Laden, the Jews knew, that's why they weren't in the building. This happened on that day, that happened on this day. Bin Laden smoking a cigar with Bush on the balcony. Then what's so key and what most people don't know is Michael Moore. So Michael Moore makes his 9/11 Fahrenheit, and we think he's fighting the man. But what he did was add more mythology to the energy. See, they're not looking at good or bad. I want y'all to hear this part. You don't look at it as good or bad. You look at it as power. So while we sitting around going, that's right, Bush did it, and he did it, it's only adding power to the shit. To it. Exactly. To the raw energy. And I want you to understand, to the raw energy. So from 9/11, they use that energy to go to war. Most mundane people think, well, they use it as a reason. On the surface level, it's a reason. But on the occult level, it's the battery.
That's right.
It's the battery. Power. Now, so even Michael Moore opposing them is the battery. Why? Because we talked about this last week. Two different polarities are the same thing. Man and woman are the same thing. That's the occult science. You're two different polarities of the same thing. So Michael Moore telling you that Bush was bad is a different polarity of the same thing. So he's actually filling the pot. So, but the difference is, so now that they created this energy, you can use this energy. So when I first understood this concept on 9/11, maybe 5 years ago, when everybody was still lighting these white candles for the victims of 9/11, I said, fuck that bullshit. I'm getting me 2 reverse candles, and I'm going to juice the fuck up. Lit these 2 reverse candles in the form, I used 2 candles because it represented the 2 towers, the 11. Now, when I lit them, the first thing, as soon as I knocked out, I started hearing thousands of niggas. My name is John Samos. My name is Barbara Jean Walker, like crying out because of all of our so-called attention. These people are actually trapped in 9/11. That terror that was created.